Now at 5, the technology improvements to help find grave sites at a historic local cemetery.
Gun control enthusiasts are here on Capitol Hill calling on lawmakers to pass meaningful gun control legislation. I'm Skylar Henry on Capitol Hill with their message and how lawmakers are responding.
And research on recovery from sports-related concussions.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A lot of Southwest Missouri families are going to pay more for electricity, and some Southeast Kansans will pay less. This is KOAM News at 5. The Missouri Public Service Commission has approved new base rates for Empire District Electric Company doing business as Liberty. A Missouri residential customer using 1,000 kilowatt hours of energy monthly will pay a base rate of about $9.93 more per month. That's an increase of more than 7.5%. In addition to that, those Missouri customers will pay an increased fuel adjustment charge of $5.85 per month. Both of those higher charges take effect on June 1st. However, starting in mid-October, customers can get lower rates during the off-peak hours of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Empire Electric customers in Kansas will soon see a reduction in their monthly bills. A settlement agreement approved today by the Kansas Corporation Commission calls for a 3.8% decrease effective on July 1st. This amounts to a bill reduction of $2.95 per month for residential customers with average usage. You can find more information on rate changes in both states at KOAMnewsnow.com. A group of abortion providers in Oklahoma has filed a legal challenge to a bill that bans nearly all abortions in the state. That lawsuit was filed today with the Oklahoma Supreme Court. It seeks to stop the new law from taking effect. The court declined to temporarily halt a similar law that prevents abortions after about 6 weeks of pregnancy that took effect earlier this year. But the court did agree to hear arguments in that case and scheduled dates for briefs to be filed in June and July. People visiting a Miami cemetery over the Memorial Day weekend might have an easier time finding particular grave sites. The GAR Cemetery is incorporating technology in their visitation. You can now scan a QR code that gives you GPS directions to your loved one's burial site. All you do is scan the code, type in the name, and press the link to the directions. This is in hopes of helping visitors better navigate that 86-acre cemetery.
The people really enjoy this, and they're very thankful for this program because it makes it so much easier. And I've simplified it down to where basically pretty much anybody can do this if they have a smartphone.
This is the first Memorial Day that this service is available. Let's check in with Doug Hetty for a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be another gloomy and rainy day across the region. We've had periods of showers, even a few thunder showers, nothing strong, nothing severe, kind of rotating through as the backside of this system is pushing through the region. So we still have showers on the Missouri side, drying out on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. You can see a little band rotating right through the metro at this point in time. Good news here is we're on the backside of this system. These showers, thunder showers, are going to roll out of here as we go into the rest of the evening hours. Chilly, upper 50s to lower 60s across the region. We'll slide back through the 50s. I do think we're going to get some fog building in tonight, so watch out for that if you're going to be on the roadways. But overnight lows, upper 40s to near 50 degrees. Of course, we're going to look into the holiday weekend here in just a bit.
See you then. Lawmakers left town for a week-long Memorial Day recess. That gives them 1 week to find a deal before Democrats push ahead with votes on gun safety legislation. Skylar Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agree. They never want to see another tragedy like what happened in Uvalde, Texas this week.
I'm not interested in the same old tired talking points. I'm actually interested in what we can do to make the terrible events that occurred in Uvalde less likely in the future.
But lawmakers can't seem to agree on how to prevent another tragedy. 4 Republicans joined 5 Democrats for a working lunch Thursday to see if they can find some middle ground on gun safety legislation before they left town for a Memorial Day break.
Is it possible that there's something that happens in the middle of June when you guys get back?
I think it's not only possible, it's necessary that we work every day, literally every day when we are out of session, because when we're back in session right away, we need to take votes.
Hundreds protested outside the Capitol Thursday, demanding they quickly vote on new safety laws.
My main focus is to get a vote on record, figure out who needs to get out in November.
Erica Lafferty's mother was the principal of Sandy Hook Elementary. She says her heart broke all over again when she saw video of Uvalde families waiting to find out if their children were okay.
I know how it is to be in that room and waiting and to finally get the news that you're not one of the lucky ones.
But Texas Senator Ted Cruz says Democrats are trying to politicize the tragedy.
What Democrats in the press try to do in the wake of every mass shooting is they try to demonize law-abiding gun owners.
Cruz is scheduled to speak Friday when the NRA kicks off its national convention in Houston, just hours away from the shooting. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is also scheduled to speak at that NRA convention, as is former President Donald Trump. A statue of George Floyd was unveiled in Houston's Tom Bass Park on the second anniversary of Floyd's death. Floyd grew up in Houston and is buried there next to his mother. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted of second-degree murder for killing Floyd on May 25th of 2020. Still ahead, hitting the road for the holiday.
It could be the busiest Memorial Day weekend for travel since before the pandemic. I'm Chris Van Cleve in Savannah. The travel surge comes just as prices are soaring. That story is coming up.
But first, possible racial disparities in recovery from sports-related concussions. That's next in Health Watch.
New entrepreneur.
Topping today's Health Watch, researchers in the UK are investigating a potential treatment for monkeypox. An antiviral pill that treats smallpox called Tecorivamat appears to shorten monkeypox symptoms and the contagious period. Scientists are calling for further research into using antivirals as a monkeypox treatment. As many as 3.8 million sports-related concussions occur every year. A concussion is a brain injury caused by a blow or a bump to the head. There's lots of research that looks into which sports are more prone to concussions or how concussions differ among genders, but what about between races? Hit after hit after hit. Concussions are some of the most common sports-related brain injuries, and recovery is dependent on many factors.
History of prior concussions and how symptomatic you are at presentation are two major factors related to your recovery.
But what about race? In a study, researchers at Vanderbilt University Medical Center and the University of Alabama looked at white and black athletes ages 12 to 23 who were treated for a sports-related concussion.
We found that black athletes were reporting earlier recovery than white athletes.
On average, black athletes in the study reported fewer concussion symptoms and experienced symptoms for 12 days compared to 21 days for white athletes. Black athletes also returned to school more quickly. The data is making the researchers question whether there's a psychosocial factor involved in recovery.
What are their families telling them about recovering from a sports concussion? What are their schools? What are their coaches telling them about concussion?
Suggesting that certain cultural aspects may lead some athletes to appear to recover faster to get back to sports quicker. However, not getting proper concussion information when it comes to recovery may have damaging long-term effects, such as memory and concentration problems. These researchers believe this study is just the tip of the iceberg.
Just really at the beginning of scratching the surface of how important race is in sport-related concussion.
The team did also look at Latino and Asian players, but there were not enough numbers to include in the study. The researchers performed this study twice and received similar outcomes. Their next steps include getting data directly from the field instead of waiting until athletes come into the clinic, as they suspect some concussions are not being diagnosed properly. New research shows once a state legalizes recreational cannabis, residents are more likely to start using the drug. A study of more than 20,000 Americans published in the journal Addiction looked at 4 states where recreational marijuana is permitted. Researchers found more people started using pot when it was legalized, including those too young to legally do so. Women who struggle with infertility because of obesity may benefit from lowering their blood sugar levels. A study published in the Journal of Endocrinology found that using a common type 2 diabetes medication to lower blood sugar in pregnant mice improved body weight and normalized the reproductive cycle. Hormones and ovulation were also partially restored. And breastfeeding for longer periods of time is associated with higher cognitive test scores later in childhood. That's according to British researchers who followed nearly 8,000 infants until age 14. They found that longer breastfeeding was associated with higher verbal and reasoning scores at all ages. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, just how many people are likely to hit the skies and the roads this holiday weekend.
Plus, we finally start to get a chance to dry out over the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up.
Sachs and Associates.
Well, of course, more rain for us today. We've had showers, thunderstorms just about each and every day this week, over an inch once again for today. So this puts us over 12 inches for the month. So just a ton of rain for the year, approaching 26 inches. And we are above normal by 8 inches for 2022. A lot of rain. At least we get a chance to dry out. Just not right now. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Cloudy skies, still showers across the region, but we're slowly going to start to dry out as we go through the rest of the evening hours. Upper 50s, lower 60s. Chilly for this time of the year. 7th range line. You can still see showers rotating through. 60 west-northwest winds, 5 to 10. Humidity is high. Through the evening hours, slide back through the 60s, 50s, eventually down into the upper 40s later on tonight. So it's going to be kind of chilly across the area. All right, storm system spinning away. Still see rain, mainly on the Missouri side. So if you live in Kansas or Oklahoma, you are starting to dry out. You get rid of this storm system. Here in about 2 or 3 hours, everybody will be drying out across the area. Zooming in, you can still see some showers across Berry County, McDonald, and then into Newton County. A little shower right through Joplin. Another little guy south of Lamar up toward Nevada. Stockton Lake to Greenfield, a little bit thicker, and then kind of stretching down toward Mount Vernon. Besides that, this storm system is heading away from us. Nice little ridge builds in as we head into tomorrow, so that helps us warm up. And then watch what happens as we go through the holiday weekend. We could pick up a few showers on Saturday. Big storm system builds out toward the west, but high pressure kind of keeps blocking it, so it keeps it out to the west. So the end result for us is we get a really nice holiday weekend, which is always good news. All right, tonight we start to clear out. I do think we're going to see some fog. The winds are going to be light. So much moisture on the ground, so watch out for patchy fog if you're going to be on the roadways. Let's go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Friday is going to be fantastic. We're going to have mostly sunny skies, 70 by noon, 76 during the afternoon. Tomorrow night, not as chilly. We drop back into the mid-50s for overnight lows. You can see a couple sprinkles, so this is Saturday morning. We could see a quick shower, maybe a random sprinkle. Most of you will stay dry. We go into the 80s by the time we head into Saturday afternoon. Sunday looks great as well. We go into the mid-80s. So Sunday, fantastic. Monday, which is Memorial Day, also looking good into the mid-80s. And then by Tuesday, we get a front that drops into Kansas, showers and thunderstorms. This will push a complex toward us Tuesday night into Wednesday. Some of those storms could be strong, possibly severe, but we don't have to worry about that for several days. 76 tomorrow, 84 Saturday, 86 on Sunday, 85 on Friday. You really could not ask for a better Memorial weekend, because usually on the holiday weekend it always rains, especially in May, but we're going to get a dry one this year.
Yeah, either rains or sometimes like it creeps into the 90s.
Yeah.
And this is going to be pretty pleasant.
Not too bad.
Thanks. Here's a look at our tower camera sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction as work continues on the KOIM More Power Project. You can check it out anytime on our website, koimnewsnow.com/power. Coming up, what we should expect to come next with interest rates. First, though, we recognize a local Army veteran who served 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. Columbus, Kansas native William Potter was part of the 101st Airborne Unit in the U.S. Army. His medals include a Purple Heart and a Silver Star. Staff Sergeant William Potter a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Federal Reserve is preparing to raise interest rates higher than originally expected in order to fight inflation. Minutes from the central bank's meeting earlier this month show that the committee members believe a series of half-point increases will likely be needed. Higher interest rates tend to slow consumer and business spending. Pack up your suitcase and start emptying your pockets. According to AAA, more Americans are getting away this long holiday weekend, and they're paying more for it too. Reporter Chris Van Cleve takes a look at the travel surge from Savannah, Georgia.
The sounds of summer. And despite the price tag, this Memorial Day weekend is expected to be the busiest for travel since 2019.
It's been an annual thing for a lot of years.
AAA projects folks looking to get away will be up more than 8% over last year to 39.2 million. Almost 35 million will hit the road. Another 3 million are expected to fly. Some are calling it revenge travel.
What we've gone through as a country over the past couple of years, that is spurring people to just get out. They want to have those experiences.
Those experiences are getting more expensive. Gas prices continue to break records, and AAA says hotels are up 42% over last year.
It sucks, but I mean, what am I going to do? Just not go anywhere?
But for others, the cost is a deal breaker.
Gas and the motel and stuff, we just figured we'll wait.
They might be waiting a while. Patrick DeHaan at Gas Buddy says the national average for a gallon of regular could hit $5 within a few weeks.
This may be the low point for the summer in what could become certainly a very expensive summer to fill your tank.
If you are traveling, especially if you're hitting the roads, experts say one way you may be able to save is don't fill up right off the freeway. Get about a mile or so away and you may find gas prices are lower. Flyers who booked early got the best rates. And there's also a run on rental cars.
You may end up with a lot bigger car because all the more economical cars have already been snapped up.
AAA still expects a robust summer travel season, even if Americans are pinching pennies along the way. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Savannah, Georgia.
Experts suggest making sure you're up to date on car maintenance, have appropriate tire pressure, and stick to the speed limit to help maximize your gas mileage. And while most COVID restrictions have eased, AAA is advising travelers to follow CDC guidance, which still recommends masks in indoor public transportation settings. The White House is working to ban a controversial mining project from an Alaskan watershed. The Pebble Mine project would mine Bristol Bay for copper and gold deposits, but if finalized, the EPA's proposal would protect the bay, which supports a $2 billion commercial fishing industry and is home to valuable sockeye salmon. And Oreo and Ritz crackers are teaming up for a sweet and salty mashup. For a limited time beginning today, fans of the snacks can order this half cookie, half cracker online by just paying the shipping fee. The treat's stuffing is half cream, half peanut butter. They're available until June 5th or when all 1,000 packs are gone. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, inside the classroom, we hear from a student who saw the Texas school massacre. Then on KOAM News at 6, a Southwest Missouri school counselor gives advice on how to discuss school violence with our kids. Plus, we're going to visit Miami's GAR Cemetery to further explain the new technology that'll help visitors find grave sites. And 6 local baseball and softball teams are heading for the Kansas tournament. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Weather's looking up as we head into the holiday weekend.
It is. We still have to dodge some showers out there over the next couple hours. Watch out for a little bit of fog also if you're going to be on the roadways tonight into the morning hours. But the weekend looks pretty good. 76 tomorrow, 84 Saturday, 86 on Sunday, Memorial Day itself, 85 degrees. Really no thunderstorm chances until about the middle of next week.
It's nice that corresponds with the weekend. A lot of people heading to the lakes and picnics and, of course, the cemeteries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks. Thank you for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.